It's a beautiful day and welcome to the show that makes you understand why men are men. Yes, men are men. Unscripted men. Elon Musk is my name and I just can't wait for us to get into the topic because the men are seated. We'll be right back. Welcome back, and if you just can't wait to get into the issue, well, today you understand why you're facing certain conditions in your life. With me today is Mystic.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome back.
Many thanks, man. Many
good
thanks.
To see you.
Good to have you. Oh, good of you to have me.
And then my brother, Delali, from another mother, Delali. Today we're going to get into the issue. All right, good. It's really a problem. But I don't know if you would describe it as a problem. Premature ejaculation. What does it mean?
Well, it's simply releasing when you are not ready for it. It's when you wish to go on a longer journey whilst your genital is telling you time's up. It's like you paying money on a trotro and your destination was supposed to be perhaps Kaneshi to Tansoma. But when you go to a local, the message get out. Get out, and you have no choice, you have to get out. That's the problem. So now you have to think about how do I get to Nansuma, but reach that destination. And therein lies the problem.
In plain words, what does it mean?
In plain words, it means during the act of sexual intercourse, the man with his penis ejaculates earlier, or should I say, sometimes even before he even enters the vagina, he comes. And that brings a little bit of disappointment to either him or her, because at the end of the day, he probably wished he could have gone further. She wishes that he would have also gone further, but at the end of the day, there's a truncation of, that enjoyment session.
Okay.
Yes. And there are a lot of factors that bring it up too, but it's manageable up to a certain extent, depending on the individual.
Yeah, but talking about Jenny getting to Carnation, getting to whatever. You want to get to Carnation, I want to get to Circle. Yeah, I understand. You want to go like the 20 minutes, I want to go just. Well, so why then are you calling my own, God forbid, whatever it is, why then are you calling the 5 minutes premature and then the 20 minutes? Why is it so?
Well, for every man, there are occasions where you would have experienced coming earlier than you anticipated. And that isn't a problem. It's part of life. There's no certainty or rigidity set or cast in stone in life. Sometimes you wake and you even feel unwell. Sometimes you wake, you feel very fit. So that is not a problem. The problem arises if at every sexual session you fail to be able to sustain an erection and then trust consistently for a certain period before ejaculating, then that becomes a problem. Because then the woman will say, why? Because this is a woman, perhaps you have been wooing online, you've had a very great interaction online, you've met a few times at restaurants, at taking walks and all that. And now, whenever it comes to the deed, to do the deed, then you are found wanting or you falter. And it isn't only the woman who is complaining. You, the man, you, the being, your mind, your heart, you want to be able to trust. You want to be able to go soon, so on. You want to do the same one. You wish to do it, but you lack the tool to be able to execute it.
So even if I want to go there, so doesn't mean that, well, even if I'm able to do 15 minutes or 20 minutes and I don't feel satisfied, so to call it, then it amounts to premature ejaculation.
No. Premature ejaculation, actually, you don't even get to have it in 5 minutes. 2 minutes, guy.
You know that famous 1 minute.
There's always
That's what the woman say. 1 minute, and that's 60 seconds.
And now they've actually increased it to Indomie, which is 3 minutes. So
Maybe that includes 3 minutes.
No, but
that includes kissing.
It doesn't say good brand.
That includes kissing.
about the food
Is a duration.
the time
For it to be ready to
duration
eat.
of Indomie, 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So if you're at 3 minutes, see this how do you call it? Premature ejaculation thing. There's some people who they don't even get to enter. I don't know why them yo. I mean, before he even enters the vagina.
Before the penis
Before the penis enters the vagina, even
the already
there's a
come.
slight touch of just probably the skin, the labia majora or minora of the vagina.
So would
And
you call that premature ejaculation?
That
If the man is okay with that, you never know.
no man will ever be okay with that. At least enter and push at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and come. Then maybe.
But you're not about to decide for someone.
You must bear in mind that when you marry, you must consummate the marriage.
Yes.
How do you consummate the marriage? It's
When
not by kissing.
you don't even get to enter.
It's not by kissing. It's not by fingering. The consummation happens when you penetrate
Yes.
with your genital, with your penis, with your rod. That is when, before the law, you've consummated the marriage. Failure of which the woman can leave you.
Yes.
For not being satisfied, for you not holding your end of the bargain.
I'm surprised this whole thing is attracting legal issues.
It does.
I'm really surprised because, well, yeah. So what?
Relationship-
The law even comes to defend the woman.
Yeah.
No, it's not defending the woman. It is because, you see, you could have, why do you marry? Or why don't you pleasure yourself? You've taken the trouble to invite someone. And as responsible guests or hosts that we are, you must be able to entertain or sort out your guests, even in the African context. So failure of which would warrant that guest not honoring your next invitation. Because that is what it is. If I am invited to your event and you treat me shabbily, you don't serve me, I come to you invite me to a party or a housewarming or whatever it is, and I come. I see that others are served, I'm not served beverage. I see that others are chewing on meat, kebab, I'm giving them. Why would I come or honor your next invitation?
Well, yeah, you have to come.
Why should I?
I invited
You've wasted my time and you've disregarded me.
Yeah.
It is
No, but I think with that one, you see, it's a different ballgame altogether. Premature ejaculation does not necessarily mean abstinence from the act. You want to do the act, but just that. Before you even start the act, or as soon as you start the act, you are done for.
That's what I'm saying. That you invited me for a deed,
Yeah.
and I'm in, and then you are able to execute the deed. So why should I come again?
There's some people who, if you are lucky to get a very, 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 see the number of times we say
Yeah.
understandable woman
Yeah.
who sees that, okay, fine, this is a problem that I help you get over it. You are lucky.
Yeah.
But otherwise, what he's saying.
Okay, so
Nobody
this brings us to this. Now, premature ejaculation, right? Like we were saying earlier on, at a point you might feel, well, okay, you're okay. Would you confuse that with orgasm? Or would you say it's the same as orgasm?
Depends.
You mean ejaculation and orgasm?
Yes, are they the same? Reaching orgasm and then ejaculation.
Ejaculation and orgasm for a man. I'm trying to be,
Exactly.
we are men.
Yeah, exactly.
Ejaculation and orgasm for a man are basically the same.
Okay.
Why? Because when a man comes, there's this,
sensual, yeah,
whether it is pre or it is long journey. It's the same kind of sensual feeling you have. The only downside to a pre-ejaculation is that there's a disappointment because you probably didn't enjoy the act that long for it to be truncated.
So even if you go for 15 minutes and you didn't enjoy it, you still call it
you go for 15 minutes and not enjoy it.
Yeah.
Trusting a woman. Knocking, as Nigerians would say.
Yeah.
Or benching, as Nigerians would say.
Exactly.
You go 15 minutes and you don't enjoy it.
Well,
It means that I don't get it. How can you go and knock a woman or bench a woman 15 minutes back?
Okay, so
and you enjoy it?
Which is the orgasm then?
The orgasm is when we release our sperms or our semen out. There's a sensual feeling that comes as a result of that release.
I reckon there's a difference between ejaculation and orgasm.
I
think
you can't have it any other way.
I will submit that the ejaculation is a function of your biology. That's when a man is stimulated, or when a rod is stimulated.
Well stimulated, yeah.
There will be an outpouring of the juice. So that's ejaculation. That is a right of nearly every man. The orgasm is heightened pleasure, heightened excitement, which comes
as a result
normally from interaction with another agent or another entity. So that, yes, if you masturbate, you would ejaculate.
And you get orgasm.
But I do not reckon that you can compare that to having trusted or given a trust into a woman's warm, cozy vaginal canal. That excitement, and then the other bits of it, the kissing, the BJ, and all the others that come with it, the stimulation that you get from that participant, the nibbling on the nipples of the man, the biting of the ear, and all the others. It is an aggregate or the summation of that would end in orgasm.
So orgasm is basically comes with some heightened fulfillment.
And I will submit to that. Because many a time you can go to the washroom, take a soap, or take a toe, or take a cream, and then beat your meat. You just beat it and it will come. But no. But and that outpouring, I would classify it as ejaculation. But the warm, fuzzy feeling I get with the interaction, the exchange, in a warm vaginal canal, in the warm throat of a participant, that fuzzy feeling.
So let me say this. Orgasm, right? People orgasm to masturbation. People orgasm to normal sex or normal intercourse. What is orgasm? Like he said, it's the heightened feeling. So when a woman decides to touch herself, or a man decides to, pull on his dick, there is a sense of heightened feelings as the act is going on. A man's ejaculation would come, and at the end of that ejaculation, or simultaneously, whilst ejaculating his juices, the orgasmic feeling comes naturally with it. A woman would also touch herself. Unfortunately, they don't, get to release the way we release. That's why some will say they squirt, some will have, just trickles of juice, fluid coming out. They will touch themselves until they reach that heightened level, and then they also let themselves go, and then their fluids come out naturally. So for a man, naturally, as soon as you ejaculate, you end up orgasming at the same time. But a woman doesn't do that. A woman, it takes different. It's a different.
Is it not the same fulfillment, even in the context of a woman?
Exactly. It's a self-fulfillment. That heightened level of excitedness, that woozy feeling that makes you feel.
So there are differences between ejaculation and then orgasm?
No. And that's for a man, they are the same. Because definitely you ejaculate to be able to have orgasm for a man. If you don't ejaculate, there's no way you'll be orgasm for a man.
There are men who ejaculate without orgasm. Because if you ask me, I mean, ejaculation is just the semen coming out.
Because the question then is, if, as my good man is postulating, that every ejaculation is ejaculation, every painting is painting, and that there's an orgasmic byproduct to every ejaculation. Then the question is, why then would people patronize ladies of the night? Why then would they, on their last money, still find a need to go and pay for what? If I can get into my bedroom, I can just do the same thing in my washroom. If I can beat my meat, and the same thing after the camp.
Variety.
So it is there I submit that the feelings or the outcome or the derivative that you get, it's not the same.
Yes. Do you know why? It's like this. Akosia sitting somewhere. Mami sitting somewhere. Those two women are different. Sleep with Mami, sleep with Akosia. You find a difference in between the two. It's all about the orgasm. You start the act goes on. There's this feeling that comes with it. But at the end of the day, if Akosia decides, I won't do again, have you orgasmed? You felt sweet, but you didn't get to release to have that, end. Something, these days, the masseurs, they have something they call what? Happy ending.
Happy ending.
Do you know what the happy ending is? They make you come. And when they make you come, they know that you have reached that heightened level of excitement. So you sleep with Mami, you sleep with Akosia, or shall I say, you've seen the difference between the two of them. Mami is normal, okay. You get Akosia, and Akosia is blowing your mind. In the middle of the game, Akosia says, I'm doing it.
Why is she not doing it?
Maybe, she just thinks about something and she says she'll do it.
So is premature ejaculation a problem?
Yes, of course.
How is it a problem?
It's a crazy
when you set
At what point do you call it a problem?
When you set out on your sexual journey from your teenage years. For most men, you realize that you can beat your meat and then ejaculate and then have it erect again. And then go up the second round, have it erect again, go the third round, have it erect again in the fourth round in your 20s. You can have 4 ejaculations and you will not come off worse off. And then you enter your 30s. And then you realize, I've beaten my meat, gone one.
And there are some people, even in their 20s, even in their younger ages, they still have the premature.
Of course. There are the exceptions. There are exceptions to it. But for most men, I hazard to say that in your 20s is when you are sometimes your most, your most prolific.
So you also agree that it's a problem?
It's problem it is. It's a very big problem. It actually bears down the ego of a man. When that happens to you, you feel so disappointed, you feel ashamed, you feel shy. Because one, you don't even know what the woman is going to say tomorrow or go to tell their friends who are probably
because deep within you feel that, Charlie, you've not done the thing.
You've
not really not enough.
And the thing is, you see, like I said, it all boils out. It dampens your ego as a man. Worst case scenario, if you know it is your problem that you have, it can even stop you from having sex.
You might not even go.
You might even want to go close to a woman.
But as I was saying,
your confidence level dips because you are shy. You go home to a woman and then you know that the next moment you get intimate, you are going to disappoint.
Is it possible that because you have, I just want to check this, maybe there is no part of it. Is it possible that because you have the premature ejaculation issues, it's likely that even when you're going for the action, you might not even have erection?
Of course. But there's also something that people confused with premature ejaculation, erectile dysfunction.
That's also
a different
topic.
But people, yeah, I know. But people misconstrue erectile dysfunction
with
premature ejaculation.
So before you come in, you go on. It must be established that, as I was saying, that in your teens, you might be beating your mates and being able to have erections and continue. Then that same person in his teens goes and has an encounter with a woman, and then has a PE situation. It is because our initial sexual encounters with the opposite sex often are experiments. You don't really know what you are doing. The woman also really does not know what the young lady does not really know. And for the most part, you've stolen yourselves to execute the act when we are at home. Because you know your parents will not agree, his parents will not agree. So you steal each other, and then you are in a rush and you are in a haste. And sometimes you find that you might even misplace the hole. Because in your mind, you have a picture of doing it, but it's just so there's anxiety, there's inexperience.
Yeah, I was coming to that. So if it's a problem, how best can this be resolved?
Well, there are ways to do it. You see, premature ejaculation, right? You can be as hard as a rock. Premature ejaculation doesn't mean that you can't be hard. You will be hard, but the very moment, because probably sometimes it's sensitivity. Your nerves are just too sensitive to touch. It touches the clit just a little bit, or the labia, nora, majora, it touches it just a little bit. You're off. When something's happening, you, the person who is affected, you should know that you need help. There are other ways to do it. There's the one whereby you can do the start-stop, whereby whilst you are doing it, then you stop. There are other ways you can hold the tip of your dick when you feel you are coming, just to bring the pressure of the cum oozing out to stop. So when that happens, you find out that you cool down small and you regain your composure back, and then you continue. So that also works. Sometimes it's like you said, anxiety. Take your mind off trying to over-impress a woman. You see, maybe you are trying to over-impress the woman. You've seen the girl, your heart, your mind wants to this and get tired for chop one make it feel. Then you go disgrace yourself.
I would love to submit that for the young lads, for the youngsters coming up, PE can wear off. It can wear off. So do not be so alarmed and don't let it buckle you down. In that, as I said, your earliest encounters, today when you ask all of us, you ask Akosia, you ask the others, what were your first...
we want to know what somebody can do, because I'm
coming there. When you ask in a class or in a group of 20 people, both male and female, how was your initial sexual contact? They will say, no, forget that thing. Do I even call that thing sex? So what I'm saying is this: as a young male, it is also because of lack of contact with your penile tip to the vaginal entrance. That also can lead to your spilling your juice all around during your first initial contacts. But you find that if you are able to have other damsels who fancy you, and you start having that engagement, your penile tip is touching different vaginal canals. You say that now your tip is not as sensitive as it used to be.
Well, that.
Well, I want us to. This thing is really a problem.
Premature ejaculation are caused by about 3 factors. There's the emotional factor, there's the biological factor, and then there's the psychological factor. Now, the emotional factor is this. For instance, my girlfriend cheats on me with another man. The mere thought of another man entering into my girlfriend
Puts you off.
puts me off. It's happened to me before.
No
You
one
enter
like
because you're asking yourself, am I better than him? Or was he better than me? You know, in the act of trusting. So because you put yourself under so much stress, before you know it, you are done.
So quickly before we go for a break, can you give about two main causes that you know, two main causes, you know, you also give me another two, some two main causes that you know that look, this is it. So somebody watching us right now will know that look, okay, fine, this is what I've been doing, so let me do A, B, C, D. What two main causes do you think?
Of the cause of the
premature ejaculation.
So lack of action. You don't have enough heterosexual or vaginal sex.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm key on that. Okay. So that sometimes it's not a problem at all.
Okay.
The baby have contact, so they different. You'll be if it sustains, then you know you have a problem. Because I'm key on that. Okay. Because if you have any problem, right, let's have contact. So after some time, I didn't hear you because the tip is very sensitive. So that's one.
Okay.
Number two, if after having some good mileage, contact, and still you realize that all other things being equal, there's no problem of emotion, whatever. The girl comes, baby, want me start there, baby, want me start there, and yet everything is you should be able to do this, and yet you can't. Then there's a problem. There's a problem now.
Okay.
So, and no, like Obanda said, no, it's not. It's going beyond anxiety now. Now find medicine. Okay. Find a solution.
Okay. You are looking for causes, right?
Yeah.
I mentioned three major causes. And in these three major causes, I mentioned stress.
Okay.
Emotional issues. Okay. And then there's the biological one, hormones. There's DNA in terms of inheritance. You can inherit premature ejaculation from your parents.
That's serious. We'll be right back from this break. Welcome back to the show, and it's still Unscripted, man. While we're away, Dela was making some valid points, and I really wish you would discuss it with us. Seriously, we want to know about it.
Yeah, I think we're talking about the causes.
Exactly.
Yeah, like I was saying, that there are two major causes. There's the emotional stroke psychological, and then there's the biological stroke physical. With the emotional stroke psychological, it borders on stress, how do you call it? Maybe relationship problems, anxiety, self-confidence in your own self. Maybe you probably even had a bad first sex, how do you call it, experience. Those play out and sometimes cause, how do you call it, premature ejaculation. Then we have the biological side, where you have hormonal imbalances working here, some even from your brain. You know, sex is a mind thing. You see, so
definitely, yeah, it's psychological.
Yes, so if you don't have, not just psychological, your brain itself, you know, it's borders on this neurons and stuff.
Okay.
That's a little more scientific. If there's an imbalance in that part two, it could cause premature ejaculation.
The causes to know that is there no chances that if you're also not on the right diet, it could also be a factor?
Yeah, so as I said, if you've done the trials and there's been this sustained failure on your part, it is when the women now will tell you, you have to chufa, you have to chufa. Because, and not from one person, two, they love they want to be in your company. But when it comes to art, you feel woeful. So then you must come to terms that you need an external help. And that external help will begin from you. If you're someone who binges on junk food, you must make a conscious effort of realigning your meal options. You have to cut down on meat, red meat. You have to reduce your sugar intake. You have to reduce your caffeine intake. You must have ample time to sleep, for sleep.
Yeah.
Because that is the degenerative process for the healing of the cells and the tissues. So make time, sleep, a considerable standard 8 hours or so. And then do that for a couple of some period, a duration, and then go on the war front, try a few firings, see what difference you see.
Come back
and you fire a few firings, and now see what the feedback will be from your participant. I could see I'm seeing a change. I could see now you can sustain an erection. Now you can give me some 10 strokes instead of the 3 or 5 that you used to give. So then you know you're on the right path. If even you have modified your living, and it's still not reflective, then it's time to find either you go the orthodox way or you go the herbal way. And that choice is yours. You can go to the hospital and then they will put you on Western medicine, the capsules and whatever. But if you are someone who believes in your African heritage, then you can also go and see a traditionalist or a traditional medicine man who also gives you the options of herbs, leaves, barks, where you boil and you drink it. They'll put you on a program, a month, 30 days, 60 days. You will morning, evening.
Morning, evening. I like it when you have the facts.
Exactly.
When you're pouring out the facts, it's like it makes somebody, it gets somebody wanting to listen to
the For me, I would say the herbal, because with that one you have less side effects.
Okay.
Compared to the orthodox things.
Okay.
Because the herbal ones usually just the disease.
Okay.
And that does not only solve the problem of B, but it actually
the general well-being.
The general well-being of your whole system.
Okay. So now the issue of the use of aphrodisiacs. Is there any correlation between the use of aphrodisiacs and then premature ejaculation?
There's a correlation. People fall on it for redemption.
Actually,
People fall on it for redemption, but there isn't any better aphrodisiac, so to speak, to have than Selbesa, Asa, with tea, pepper, and ginger, kakadu.
You really in for the traditional
so grind it. So you can grind it just as we used to. Why were our parents or our mothers especially were so keen on the Asa regime?
Exactly.
Why were they? Because they realized because
it has a lot of
they prevented you from falling ill, going to land in the hospital, and then the women, our mothers, also kept an eye on their male children. That they wanted them to be firing effectively and efficiently. They didn't want any poor firing.
No,
our mothers,
no.
So they are proud when they hear among the community, young people, or their mothers, the women, their mothers are complimenting their sons to their mothers the mothers are happy that their sons are making them proud in the community. So, even as we've aged, if you have some of these niggling problems, go back to the roots. Get an earthenware pot, asanka, grind it. There's no shame in it. Go and get a bent one. If you are feeling shy, get an affectionate blade. It will help you out because she knows she will derive the benefits.
Yeah.
So tell a close buddy of yours, I could say, I'm making her the son. And if she is into you that much, she will come prepare it. So you will jump. Do it.
I've never experienced that thing, though. I've never experienced it before.
Do it, and then they're fair. And then aside that, there are other aphrodisiac options. We've heard of the pea capsules. We've heard of the Samsu. We've heard of the dragon spray and all that. But the caution is be guarded. be guarded. So you must ask yourself that the product I'm going in for, what is the safety level of this product? And so I would encourage our people who face this problem, yes, you want to be able to have intercourse, penetrative sex with your women or your woman, but think about your heart, think about your liver, think about your kidney, and don't jeopardize the pleasure you have, and then in the end have a long-term ailment.
Thank you very much, viewers, for your time. I'm sure you've learned something. Myself, seriously, it's always best to have the guys around, and we've had a lot talking about. Now, we want to have a conversation with you, and I'm sure that most of you have sent in some questions that are bothering your mind. So, I mean, here's your chance to have your questions answered. And this is coming from Doris. Doris says, why is it difficult for men to be truthful after they have fallen out of love? Why is it difficult for some men to be truthful after they have fallen out of love?
We pay attention to what people say too much.
They can't handle the truth.
In our society, it isn't even about the truth, it's what people say. Because if you have come to the determination that this will no longer work for you, it behoves on you to lay it out. But then we always think of how will the person take it, how the tantrums the person will throw, and then you drag them along, which invariably will lead to more trouble. So if you come to that realization, if you come to that junction, it's best to have an honest disclosure or interaction with the person. Madam, this one is caused, the feeling is not there, nothing can be done about it. I love to move on. It's painful, she's going to cry, she's going to beg, insist on it, move on, and she will thank you for it after a while and say, you did me good, thank you.
Me, I always say this, they can't handle the truth. So that is why they behave the way they do. Because telling a woman that, Charlie, the feeling no day came,
it's not an easy thing to do.
It's not an easy thing to do.
Perhaps the feeling no day, but Charlie.
Then, we go with
the coochie.
Oh, the coochie there, that one there, no, they're more. but, you know, I mean, the feeling that you probably had for it
is no longer there.
You find out the man will go and say, oh, it's not you, it is me, you know, that kind of thing.
Right.
Meanwhile, they can't handle the truth.
How do you know a guy loves you?
You can never know. You know why?
Tell me.
A guy who just wants to hit you because he has seen you as a target can do what guys who actually love you do, and even do more. By the end of the day, and you will think that he's in love with you.
Just like people who try to allure girls with fake status.
If you are the kind who
he doesn't want a car yet,
if you are the kind who likes to be in the status range of living in that one day, that is the problem. But if you are even a normal person who you meet a guy and the guy shows you love, he buys you this, he gets you that, he calls you 10 times a day. Oh, the guy loves you, but meanwhile, his target is to hit you. As soon as his heart sets with you, bang, he's done with you. Meanwhile, you thought, I thought you were in love. He was in love with me. He calls me 10 times a day. He buys me this, he buys me. His main target was to hit your coochie. After knocking you, he's done.
I think it's
so after that love thing of a woman knowing that the man really loves her, well, I think the only thing that a man or a woman can know, for me, that's how I feel. The only way a woman can know a man loves her. Let me see also.
Well, I think for me,
no, I can take it to my father. I can take it to my parents.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I love you.
Yeah.
I can marry you. It doesn't mean I love you. You understand?
Yeah.
I can do all the things that you would want a man to do for you to know that I am loved. But the man doesn't love you.
Do you think that if the woman is real enough, won't it translate into the man also being real with her?
It's a choice. You see, when the feeling comes for a man to want to be with a woman, it comes naturally.
Okay.
You can't tell when a man is being a do-gooder, goody two-shoes and doing all the sweet stuff as being in love with you compared to a man who is also doing the same but is in love with you.
You'll know if a man loves you if you are in close proximity with the person. Even the aura, the feeling.
Spending a lot of time with the person.
It's not even the spending of the time. When we were aged in the communities, we knew, even among ourselves as teenagers,
so much of a history.
We know Akos loves Kwame. Even her body's reaction when Kwame is around. When Kwame is around, and we even among others, they could see the electricity. Even at workplaces, you could notice that Elikem gravitates towards Sewa. It was so obvious. So in close proximity, it can even be palpable. When a man loves a woman, and for the woman to determine like this guy goes gaga when I'm around. He's there. There's that. There's also the attention, the care. Not a man who finds that his object of attraction is desired, that he wants this woman. So the care will go in, and for those who are already generous by nature, they tend to be generous towards that person as well.
Okay.
You know, yeah.
Okay. So now, how do you make? This is a question from someone else. How do you make a guy fall in love with you? So
that's
how
a woman?
Yeah, that's a woman asking.
Make a guy.
Yeah. How do you make a guy fall in love? Is it within our remits to?
No, you must know the man a bit.
Okay.
You must do your homework.
Okay.
If you want a man to fall in love with you, you must do your homework.
Okay.
Find out his, you
should know the guy.
His proclivities.
Yeah.
His passion, what he gravitates towards. I'm a history buff. So if a woman, you want to arrest my attention towards you, then you must have been someone who also enjoys historical documentaries.
Then you have something in common.
If I'm music inclined and high life inclined, then you must be someone who also has done the work and knows. So that in our engagements, you have done the homework, but you casually, then you say, hey, could you agree? Wow, could you? Then I'm like, wow, you like high life? Yeah, so wow. So you must have, to a certain extent, the things that drive that person. And then you would also modify to arrest his attention. And if you were to do that, it will be easy because it doesn't become work for the man to fall in love, because all the things, the markers, if he takes out his sheet, the marking that you have done, you are ticking. You are ticking. If he wants a woman who is a good cook, and you yourself, you're already a good cook already, and you invite him over to the weekend. Hey, Elon, why did you come over this weekend? Let's Netflix and chill. And Elon goes over, and the things Elon already loves. She does pasta. She does a bit of beef loaf. She does a bit of this, and you're like, so you're mine. You are taking already. You are there. You are taking. Wifey, she can look after the children when they come from school. She can cook for them. Okay.
Same applies to the girls. I can also be doing that shit.
So do your homework on the person, and then ask yourself if you can wear that jacket. If already you're a great cook, voila. Yeah. If you didn't like high life too much, you can invest in now paying attention to high life music. Okay. So that when that conversation arises, you are able to contribute.
Okay. All right. And that reminds me, I mean, having things in common. I have these friends who got married, I was on 5 years back. The husband is a country music freak, as well as the wife.
Yeah.
And when you're with both of them,
you love country music.
Seriously, they get along so well. So I think, I mean, basically, you need to have some things in
commonalities.
And also, you have to make yourself available.
Yeah.
Because if the man doesn't see you, how is he going to fall in love?
Exactly.
That's so many ways to do it. Me, I always say, my wife found me on Facebook.
Okay.
I noticed that somebody was actually
liking your
one of those stories, one of those things people don't believe in.
Your old photos,
my photos, and I was like,
who is this girl? Let me pay attention.
Then I was like, when did I even become friends with
this girl?
I checked mutual friends. She's mutual friends with
some of your
people I know. That's okay, fine. Then I one day took a step further and went into it.
The demon.
The rest make yourself available. If you make yourself available and the person sees you, and I mean the relationship is very fluid, it will happen naturally. You don't force love. You can't force it. You can't do anything per se to make a man love you. Just let it flow.
You pay school fees, at the end of the day, she leaves.
Or you pay
if the person doesn't want you, there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, it's a decision.
You just, you know, let everything flow naturally.
Yeah.
If it is love, it is love.
Yes,
if it is not love, you will see that.
Love is sacrifice. If once the person is ready to sacrifice for you, then I mean, you're good to
don't see a man sacrifice for just pussy and then walk away.
Alright then, folks. Thanks so much for sticking and staying. And I've really had a good time with the men. It's been a table of men talking their things and then enjoying. We've just had a good time. We hope to be with you again, same time, another time. This has been a good show. Elon Musk is my name.